Caroline had just turned 14 the day before everything happened.
It was her birthday the day before, so I had made 2 lasagnas, one that she could eat and then one for the rest of the family.
As far as allergies that Caroline was allergic to, her number one, or the one that she was most allergic, would be dairy. That was her most severe. It was the highest on the scale.
Caroline had a soccer practice, and she had got home and was very, very hungry and was like, I need food right now. She went into the fridge and pulled out the lasagna that we had had at her birthday.
And took a bite, and just like every other reaction, when she took the bite, she knew immediately that it was something she shouldn't have had. It wasn't her lasagna.
She went to the washroom and she couldn't throw up, which was unusual. She usually always vomited with a reaction.
Back at that time, it was told to us that when they start having a little bit of a reaction like that, you give them Benadryl to kind of lessen the reaction. So that's what we did.
And that's when Mom and I heard her start to wheeze, and we could tell she was short of breath. And I remember looking at Mom and saying, something doesn't feel right.
And that's when I screamed for my husband that we need to go to the hospital right away.
So I was in the back of the car with her, and I remember we weren't even down the street, and she looks at me and goes, I can't breathe. And then she starts screaming, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. So we pulled over and gave her EpiPen.
I drove very fast on the highway, and the 911 people were still telling us, pull over, and the ambulance will find you. And we're saying, we don't have time to pull over.
And I was looking at her, and her throat was swollen, and I could tell she wasn't breathing very well. And she crawled over, and she came into my arms and started hugging me. And I hugged her back, and I told her that I loved her. And then I just felt her go limp in my arms. When we were going by the street lights, I saw that her face was turning blue and her lips were blue, and I just started screaming, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And Mom's on the phone with the hospital saying, get a stretcher ready, be ready.
We made it into Emerge, and she was resuscitated and placed on a ventilator. And I think I knew in my heart at that time that things were not going to be the same for us. The next day, she didn't wake up as planned. So she was airlifted to the IWK. And she passed away a week later.
It's a parent's worst nightmare to see their child like that, and to see their child, on death's bed, and then to finally say goodbye to their child who's just starting their life.
We wanted Caroline to grow up and be able to live on her own and experience life and not be in a bubble and be afraid. The general public doesn't understand that there are allergens in a lot of regular food that you wouldn't suspect there to be. So I baked a lot for her and cooked every meal. And if she was going somewhere after school or going to a friend's house, she always had to pack a bag of snacks, and learned from a very early age not to accept food from anyone.
Usually her group of friends was really good about her allergies, but I know there were some kids who just, they didn't get it, or they were like, why can't I bring this into class? Why can't I eat a peanut butter sandwich around Caroline?
Things did change when she hit middle school. The kids aren't as supervised. The teachers aren't always in the know. Kids would taunt her.
I remember Caroline came home crying once because there were these girls in the locker room and they were spraying perfume on her. And she said, I can't breathe. Like, you stop doing that. It's making me short of breath. It's making me wheezy. And one of the girls looked at her and said, well, you better have 911 on speed dial.
You know, people think bullying is always physical and things like that, but she was bullied quite a bit as far as people threatening to, smear peanut butter on her and stuff like that, and it's just not good.
But I think that when kids grow up in an environment where the parents don't really understand about allergies and how life-threatening they can be, that sometimes maybe they don't understand. So by making everyone understand, then maybe there'll be a little more compassion there and people will be a little more sensitive to people's allergies.
Caroline loved sports and activities and things like that. And whatever she did the best she could, whether it was her sports or if she's doing a craft or an outside activity or school, she always tried to do 100%.
Caroline loved to run. Because of that, David decided that we should have a run, and it's been very successful the last 4 years.
The response is just amazing for the run. Every year I'm just shocked at how many people in the community are there. You know, there's just this sea of purple, and it makes me so happy that there's so many people in the community that are trying to help us and are trying to promote awareness and help us with what we're doing.
The community has been unbelievable with their support. It's heartwarming to think that our little girl touched that many people.
We've been studying allergies and trying to tell people you can have the same reaction every time. You could have it 50 times, you could have it 100 times. And the 101st time, it could be anaphylaxis. It's not always going to be the same.
I want people to know it's easily treated, and the first treatment is epinephrine. It's an EpiPen.
Anyone can use an EpiPen. And I try to enforce that and tell people that if I can teach a 4-year-old how to use an EpiPen, I can teach anyone how to use an EpiPen. They're the key to helping people with severe allergies.
Most of the times you'd think, well, it's just a stuffy nose or something like that. Well, I can tell you from a parent who's lost a child that it's not always in the head. This is a real thing and it is life-threatening.
I wish for even a second I could just feel her hug me one more time because I miss that so much.
I miss everything there is about Caroline. The number one thing is her squeaky little voice greeting me at the door with a big hug saying, I love you, Daddy.
I hope that she saves lives. I hope by telling her story it will save other children. I don't want anyone to ever forget her.